Hi everyone, it's Annika here. Today I have a card created for Swedish House Crafts and I'm using Pion Design Papers and Magnolia Stamp and other goodies from Swedish House Crafts. So I'm creating a notebook. I'm just starting off with the several pieces of A4 copy paper and I'm just folding them in half. And they measure about 6 inches, so that means I can use a 12 by 12 paper, and all I have to do is to cut it to the same height. And I usually cut it a bit wider than the measurement says because usually I have to fundle things around to make them fit. So here I've already cut the pattern paper down and I'm just covering all the white pages that I had already folded. So now I have to create a template using one of the pages, and I'm just finding the center so I can find the center hole really, and I'm marking that one and then adding 2 other ones up and below. Then I'm just puncturing through with a needle, and then I'll be using this page as a template to find each and every hole for the whole book. So basically I'll just fold it or open it in the on top of all the papers, and I'll just punch through, and then again to make sure that all these holes are really wide enough for the needle to go through when I try to bind these all together. I'm not being too precise. This is handmade and I'm not a perfectionist, so I'm just going with the flow and hoping it will work. And now all I have to do here is punch through the patterned paper, which will be the cover for my notebook. And I'm just using a hemp twine and putting that through the eye of my needle. And then I start in the middle. I just punch it through, and yes, you might need some force with this. And by the way, this is sped up. I am not this fast. I wish that was true, but this is but 4 times my actual time. So I just fold this through. You could go with a specific kind of way of doing it. I'm just puncturing through really. No rhyme, no reason, just hoping and praying that this will work in the end. And then I just fold it up again so it kind of creates a little knot in there. And then I just tie a pretty little bow. And that is the binding done. Quick and easy. Now that the whole book is ready, all I have to do now is the decorating part. And I thought it needed a bit more, I don't know, framework or something like that. So I decided to use my distress ink and ink all the edges. It kind of makes it all come together. At least it does in my mind. So I like ink, so why not? And now I have this same pattern paper as is on the cover, it's just the back side of it. And I am just cutting out a banner using a Gummiapan die. And I had decided to use the Follow Me Tilda stamp. She's such a cutie patootie. And I just had to use it. And I'm just colouring her using my Sig Clear, well, I cannot remember the whole name. It's a clean color real brush markers, I believe. What they are really just watercolors in a pen. So any kind of watercoloring would work perfectly fine. And I'm just having fun and coloring here and there. I'm not too bothered by shadows or anything like that. I'm just coloring away and having fun really. These pens are really fun to work with because they kind of help you not to lose control while adding color to your brushes. So I like that it keeps me in the proper zone kind of area, so to speak. So again, just coloring and having fun. And then just to add a bit more depth to the image, I'm adding a second layer here and there to sharpen those colors and such. Just because I can, really. I'm just adding a bit of pink to her cheeks because it's just too darn cute not to. And again, just adding a bit of depth here and there if I think the image is a bit too flat. But like I said, I was not too bothered anyways. Now I'm just adding a little hint of sparkliness to the bow by using my Sakura Jelly Roll Sparkle pen and adding a bit more ground really to Tilda, so she's not floating there with her laptop. She actually has ground beneath her. And now I'm using the same die as before to create a square. Now, even if you don't have the shape of the die that you want, you can always manipulate most of your dies so that they fit your needs. So this one is cut on 3 sides, and I'm just taking the next size up and I'm adding it to the bottom of the image because I want a stitch ground as well, and I'm just pulling that through. So even though you don't have a square die, you can always manipulate other kinds of dies so they will fit with the shape you had in mind. And I'm just using the same ink to add a bit more texture and framework to the Tilda herself. And I'm just trying to figure out what I want to use for the cover. And I decided to cut these 2 images from the patterned paper in the collection. And I'm just cutting these out, not too precisely, just thereabouts really. And I want to add a wee bit of distressness to it, so I'm just using my Prima Distress tool to create a softly distressed edge. And of course I need more ink, so I'm inking the edges as well, just to give it a bit more, I don't know, it looks like it's all from the same pack, which it really is, but and now I'm just trying to figure out where to place things and how they would look best and all that. And I'm adding a bit of foam tape to the back of the Tilda. And then I found the decoration lacking something, and of course it was lacking a doily. And I inked that little doily up so it matches the colour scheme. I'm just placing that on the banner, and then the Tilda goes on top of that. And then I also add these 2 images that I cut up from the pattern paper behind the large banner. And that basically creates my centerpiece for the cover really. I'm just sticking it down where I think it is centered-ish. And then it just needed a little bit more something. So I got these watercolors. This is white gold, and it's got a hint of sparkling. It's not too much, but it's like a, I don't know, a sheen of sorts. So I'm just splattering this here and there, just for a tiny bit of added sparkle. And then I stamped inside some of the pages, so you have a bit something to look at, even though you haven't written anything in the notebook itself. Here I have a few more pictures of the image or notebook, and of course if you want to have a look at anything else that I've created, there will be links here. Thanks for watching. Bye.